Hi guys, it's Canadian Thanksgiving this weekend, so I decided to do a full kind of festival look for Thanksgiving. So what I'm doing today is a dragon braid with a large turkey bun at the back. So it's basically a bun that looks like a turkey. And then I'm going to be doing a huge turkey face paint. No, not huge, just like half the face, like the top half anyways. So I started with the chosen colors of red and orange, but as you can see I added blue in there just to kind of add some contrast. Since blue is the complementary color to orange, I felt like that would kind of brighten things up. Especially also blue is very cool and red's very warm, so I feel like it would give it some, I don't know, pizzazz or some flash or something. So the next thing I'm doing here is sectioning the hair into a few different sections. I'm not doing it through the whole head, however I'm doing it from the very top to about halfway down underneath the crown area because that's kind of where I want to put my bun. I'm also using Shine and Jam, the honey gel, in order to slick everything properly and hold properly into the variety of different sections I'm doing. So something I see often in Canada are like wild turkeys. They sound kind of funny and look super like skinny versions of domesticated turkeys, I guess. But it's really cool because they're actually native to North America. They were actually first domesticated by the indigenous people of Mexico between 800 and 200 BC. The birds were taken to Spain and sold throughout Europe by Islamic, but they were known as Turkish merchants at the time, therefore being known as turkey cocks. I'm really not surprised the turkeys spread so quickly. They were kind of a novelty bird for their time and they're super unique. Their heads actually change color. They're pale and blue when the bird is calm and red once the bird is excited or stressed. Also circling back to wild turkeys, did you know that they can actually run pretty fast? Going up to about 18 miles per hour on foot, and that is very easily Googleable. And they can also fly because they're not as fat as the other turkeys. So they can fly up to 50 miles an hour. That's quite a lot. I didn't know that turkeys could fly, but we made them fat because they're delicious. Another source I found says 60 miles an hour, so we can kind of put a range, maybe 50 to 60, but still, that's pretty fast and faster than I expected for a turkey. Another crazy one, you can determine the turkey's sex from their poo. So the males are shaped like a J, like the letter J, whereas the female's poo is a bit more spiral shaped, and the larger that the poop can be, the older the bird will be. So that's interesting, and I hope that you like having that knowledge in your head now. So funny thing, when I was a kid, I always imagined that Thanksgiving was like Halloween for turkeys, that like they would go to all their turkey neighbors dressed up and ask for candy, but that's kind of like the equivalent of like thinking that funerals are Halloween for adults. So especially because we kill them on that day. I don't know, maybe we celebrate death on Halloween, so it's kind of equivalent, but you let me know. You know, down in the comments you can let me know if I'm a big weirdo. Anyways, now I'm going to be adding the hair, so I love this blend, it's super vibrant. So what I'll be doing is I'm going to be pulling the hair through in between, like perpendicular to the way the hair is. It's hard because I can't really show you in 3D except for what's on the image right now. But yeah, so I'll be putting through each and every section, each pack of hair almost getting bigger than the last. And yeah, I actually used a ton of hair in this one. So the packs of hair I got this in the Kanekalon, it comes in packs of 3. So I ended up using a pack and a half basically. So this bun's gonna be huge. It's kind of more equivalent to like a big bridal bun, but you know what? It's Thanksgiving. I don't mind having a massive turkey, especially for food, so why not on the back of my mannequin? You know, huge turkey for the season. I also kind of wanted to do a bit of a fall style, so this kind of doubles as that, especially since our Thanksgiving is in October. But I know that all y'all Americans out there celebrate Thanksgiving in November, so this might be kind of a little weird for ya. So yeah, Canadian Thanksgiving is celebrated the second Monday of each October, and we do the standard similar things, you know, get together with family, have a big meal, although lately my family's been ordering a lot of KFC. Well, that's because it's a lot of work to make a massive big Thanksgiving meal, especially with a turkey. But this year I'll be spending it with my in-laws. Actually, this is the first year I'll be spending it with them as their in-law because I got married this last summer. It was super fun. So fall harvest festivals aren't rare. They've been celebrated throughout the world, and in North America celebrated by the indigenous people for thousands of years. Especially with the cycle of the earth, there's a certain time of the year where all that fruit and vegetable and everything needs to be harvested and taken away for the winter, especially for those of us who deal with snow. Side note question, what's your culture's festival of Thanksgiving? Do you guys have one? Let me know. So what's funny is that even though we get a lot of our traditions from Americans, a lot of these Canadian sites like to boast that they had the first Canadian Thanksgiving, or I guess North American Thanksgiving, held by European settlers. And English explorer Martin Frobisher and his crew in 1578 decided to sit down for dinner in what is now known as Nunavut. They had salt beef, biscuits, and mushy peas. Yum! They held communion because they were thankful for actually making it to the Eastern Arctic Circle in Nunavut alive. Especially because at the time, super common for explorers to just die on the way to wherever they were going. Super common for ships in general to just go down. By the way, you've probably noticed I've accumulated a lot of hair as I've been pulling it through the style this whole time. You really don't have to use as much hair as I did. It's going to create a massive bun. You can go with something a bit smaller and probably honestly a bit easier on your neck. So what I'm doing now is better to be explained if I describe it as a section, as like its own separate little ponytail. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the very front ponytail and I'm splitting it in half, then I'm taking the ponytail from behind it and pulling it through the front two halves, and then I'm going to be pulling that back and attaching those two sections with an elastic. So it kind of creates, I don't know how to describe it, like a pointy oval or something that kind of attaches to each other all throughout the head. So basically, when describing a dragon braid, it's kind of like the spines of what you would imagine a dragon would have. Especially very fun to do with all these like warm colors. And even though blue's not considered a warm color in my headcanon, it's like the blue is so hot that it turns blue. You know how that can happen? It goes like orange or like yellow, then orange, then red, then blue. Anyways, maybe that's insane. I'm trying to make up stuff to justify whatever I'm doing. And as you can see while I'm pulling it together, I'm kind of like pulling at the braid a bit and like fluffing it up. That's a really important part of the braid, but just make sure at the very end you take some time to really pull it apart, move the colors around, cover whatever you can of the original hair. I'm still working on how to cover completely. So yeah, like I find that I can add color to the hair, but the person's hair always shows through. So, you know, I'm just like practicing and enjoying all these fun, colorful hairs. Anyway, speaking of fun colors, something that I've never understood, especially because I live up in Canada, is when people go to visit places to see the leaves change. Although I have seen the Adirondacks and I would love to see that place just alight in fall leaf colors. However, in Canada, the leaves always change. So to go somewhere specifically to see something that I see all the time, that feels kind of weird. However, when I lived in Winnipeg, I used to see the northern lights constantly, and now I kind of wish I could see them more often, so I have considered traveling to places to see the northern lights. Not gonna lie, would love to see those babies in Iceland. Anyway, so I'm just doing the dragon braid on the head section. Right now I'm doing the fluffing that I discussed before, just trying to make sure that everything looks the way I want it to, but just be careful while you're fussing with the hair. I have this horrible tendency of going way too far and playing with it too much, and it ends up a bit of a frizzy mess, so just watch how much you're touching the hair. See, even I had to smooth it down with some gel. So I'm going to be switching into a rope braid now. I like rope braids because when I tie it into the big bun, it makes a nice chunky turkey body, and it was the similar braid that I saw on the website where I found this hairstyle. That website will also be linked down below if you want to check it out. So this is kind of the best part of the style. I'll be putting these feathers into the hair before I tie it into a big bun to create the turkey tail. If you don't have feathers, you can use pipe cleaners. However, because I do like festival hair and stuff like that, I usually have a lot of hair feathers on hand. You can also use feathers from the craft store like Michael's. However, those have dyes on them that can rub off onto your kids or your own hair. You don't want a fun style to turn into an accidental dye job. If you want to get the feathers that I have here, they're from Moonlight Feather. They're from rooster tails, so not quite turkeys, but kinda close, I guess. I don't know, I always used to put like turkeys and chickens in the same category in my mind. Let me know if you think so, but then like ducks and geese were in like a separate section because they belong to the water or something. Anyways, you can pick more natural feathers. However, I'm a big color girly, so I really like matching the colors with what I have here. I have no blue feathers, but I like to add a lot of like red, pink, yellow, orange, lots of like fall colors with the addition of pink because it's cool. And yeah, just to kind of make a bright, fun turkey tail. Now that they're bobby pinned in there and arranged, I'm going to be twisting my bun into its big chunky bunness. So yeah, and this section requires a lot of bobby pinning. Keep in mind that bobby pinning the feathers is a great idea. Don't just stick them in there. That might be really tough. But yeah, if you bobby pin the whole bun to kind of create the shape that you want, what I'm going for is kind of a chunky turkey body. So as you can see, I'm trying to play around with it a little bit, but also try not to play around with it too much that I'll ruin any shape that I could have or mess up the hair. Now I'm making the turkey head. I'll be using a pipe cleaner. I'll fold it in half, twist it into kind of this oval shape that comes down to a point for the turkey head. Then I'm going to be adding this orange pipe cleaner for its beak. I folded it in half and twisted it a couple times. I liked the result when I twisted it back because it felt like it had like a little mouth on it too. See? It's a cute little beak. So what you're going to do now is you're going to stick it into the turkey body, and you're going to grab a bunch of bobby pins and just stick it in there until it's in there tight. Now all you have left is a bit of designing and fussing, so you can kind of adjust it to make it look like the turkey of your dreams, spray paint it so it stays where you need it to, and brush it with that like bristly brush so that it kind of smooths it out. But yeah, here's the final result of the turkey hair. Oh, look at that dragon braid. I love how it goes into the turkey, and you can really see that turkey tail. I think the next time that I do that though, I'm really going to clean up that tail. So now onto the Thanksgiving turkey face paint. So we're going to start with a bunch of feathers. So this is your first row of feathers. I chose a lighter color, especially because with the darker skin tone, it pops out nicer on the back. And then the next row of feathers is going to be something a little bit darker, as you can see. So that one is going to pop up from the ones in the front, but kind of give a good contrast for our massive turkey tail. Also, the split cakes I'm using right now are from Fusion Face Paint. And I'm taking the split cake that I used on the very top, the back turkey tail thing, and I'm just swiping it over the eyes just to give it some brightness. Now I'm creating a nice little turkey body. I wanted to make him chunky. He's a little lopsided, but unfortunately since I'm doing this on a mannequin, plastic's not the best to face paint on. And then you do a little circle for the head. I used a filbert brush for this. And then now I'm doing little details, so you do a little bit of the white down there. As you can see me refining it a lot because again, this does not stick very well to plastic. And again, just a cute little beak just for him to kind of gobble all over the place, I guess. Also, something that I learned through this process is that if you make mistakes with face painting, it is super easy to fix them, even if it's on top of something, as long as you come at it with a dabbing motion if it's on top of something, but then if it's on top of the skin, you can just wipe it right off. But yeah, so as you can see, I'm using a liner brush to do a lot of my line work here. I like a longer brush. I learned this from ball pit nails actually. It absorbs me being all shaky. But yeah, as you can see, I'm putting a lot of swirls in there. Those swirls actually didn't turn out as nice as I wanted them to, so I ended up wiping those off. But now as you can see, I'm doing some outline work just to differentiate the feathers on the forehead from the rest of the head and also give it a little bit of pizzazz. I'm not 100% sure I'm using white here. I really like it because of the contrast on the darker skin tone. However, it mixed a lot with the red, turning out a bit pinkish, although you can kind of see the white there as well. But yeah, this Thanksgiving look is really coming together. I wish I could have done it on a real person. But as you can guess, in my area, a lot of people are gone for Thanksgiving. Actually, do you know why Canadians celebrate Thanksgiving? It's for different reasons than Americans. So we celebrate Thanksgiving because Samuel de Champlain and a bunch of his French explorer friends, I guess, were getting really sick because of scurvy. So when they decided to have Thanksgiving with local Micmac tribes in the area, they would eat their cranberries and it would help stop them from getting scurvy because the vitamin C. Vitamin C is very important, kids. Don't want to get scurvy. Anyways, you can see a lot of the detail work. I did a lot of dots and starbursts for this one. I also did cute little dots on the tail feathers there, just to give it some pizzazz. And finally, I'm kind of giving her a bit of a turkey nose, so I started with a little bit of that really strong white. I didn't realize how strong it would be, so shout out to Superstar face paint. That's what I'm using in this particular situation. And again, Superstar for the yellow little beak nose. It turns out great. I find it super cute and nice and pointy. Anyways, any other face paint I used was from Diamond FX, especially for my little turkey dude. Another face paint brand I recommend is Wolf FX. Anyways, so I'm using Superstar for the lips. This is a step you can skip because kids will eat this a lot, but you can add a little bit of a shimmery red. I use the same red that's on the tail feathers. As a quick swipe on the lips, just a little bit of lipstick. Anyways, this is the final look. I adore this look. It turned out so good. I'm definitely going to try this again just to see if I can make it even better. But for a first attempt at this whole look together, I really, really love it. What do you guys think? Would you guys do this for yourself? Would you get this done? Would you do this for your kids? Please let me know in the comments, and especially how I can improve. I really appreciate pointers. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you come to the next one. Okay, thanks. Happy Thanksgiving. Bye!